No.
I'll start off by taking a quick moment to introduce myself. As Aidan said, I'm Jennifer Dorward. I'm a solution architect with C5 Insight, and I've been a Microsoft end user for many years. That's probably too many manys, but and creating solutions for internal teams to be more collaborative and productive. And it's been exciting to switch gears and do so for an innovative partner like C5. I am new to presenting. In fact, I'd like to thank you all for attending my very first virtual session. I look forward to my first in-person session this October at Summit in Charlotte, and I hope to see you all there. Also, while at Summit, you might catch the two more seasoned Dorward speakers shown in the family photo there at the bottom, the two on the bottom right, Sean and Taylor. Taylor will likely be speaking about accessibility, and Sean, a variety of different subjects. So, but I will be also speaking about ChatGPT there and AI and all that good stuff. So, also, just to mention the other folks in the photo, those two are also in the top left. They aged quite a bit, as we all did by the time we took that other one last year. So also in the bottom right picture is our oldest son, Joshua, who is getting married to our daughter-in-law, Victoria, and then our daughter, Samantha, who is holding our granddaughter, Paisley Grace. So, and then last but not least, our corgi, Shyla, and our Great Dane, Blue. So that's our happy family, and why Sean and I do everything that we do. Everything is for them. So that's just a little bit about me. Let's see here. So moving on, to start off, I want to share that this first slide about generative AI was created using generative AI. So the Bing prompt for the background was to create a picture of 4-leaf clovers on a background of wood. So it generated this nice photo, and it made a great background to use. Then Midjourney is another AI tool website. And so the Midjourney prompt for the photo on the left, or the photo grouping on the left, is a robot typing on a 1950s manual typewriter in an office. And Midjourney will populate a couple of 4 different iterations of your prompt. Then you can play around and make like if, let's say, you liked number 2, you could then focus on that one and make variations based on that. So it's pretty cool. If you haven't played with it, I definitely recommend doing so. And then the Jasper prompt for was give me a 15-word definition for generative AI. So that's what it had provided. So as you can see, generative AI can generate multimedia content in the form of images and text, but also through machine learning model training, it can generate music and video as well. I'm sure there will be a lot more to come that we'll learn about that. Let's see. Oh, and on the bottom there's an example of predictive text, which we're all pretty familiar with. It was essentially the precursor to GPT and laid the foundation for advancements in language modeling. If anyone's not familiar, GPT stands for Generative Pre-training Transformer, and it's a significant leap forward from the predictive text. This is a type of artificial intelligence model developed by OpenAI that uses machine learning to produce human-like text. It's generative because it can create new content. The pre-trained part is because it has already been trained on a large quantity of internet text. It's called a large language model. And then it's a transformer because it uses the transformer architecture. a specific type of neural network architecture to process input data. I would not have remembered that verbatim. Really, once I get to transformers, I'm thinking of trucks transforming into robots. So that, but that is the technical definition. All right, so there are really seemingly endless options for using AI and GPT tools, from simple content creation to competitive or predictive analysis. AI tools are super helpful and will help save you tons of time. An important note of caution, though, reviewing and editing is a must for anything AI generated. You may have heard of AI hallucinations, which is really a product of AI becoming a little too creative, to the point of being unrealistic and even nonsensical. So you can get a good laugh sometimes, but definitely when you're reading the draft as opposed to after you've sent something. So definitely a word of caution there. So as we run through some use cases and examples, please keep that in mind and consider what could go wrong. All right, so let's dig into some real life scenarios. From email drafting to ideas for sessions, session titles and abstracts, leveraging AI can save so much time. By inputting requests or prompts into the ChatGPT, you will receive a tailored response based on what ChatGPT was trained on up until 2021. And then anything else you share with it during the conversation. So you can help it learn contextually what you're looking for. But as far as the pre-training part, that goes up to 2021. And this is key to keep in mind as you go. You can paste in samples or of your style of speaking or writing, or simply give it the context that you like as a preface, or even during conversations. So it's very much a continual learning process. You'll learn which prompts get you better results and what sharing more context will get you. You can also reference previous conversations from your ChatGPT history to kind of remind it, remember what we were talking about. There's a sidebar that'll list your history. If you ask any odd or weird questions, just keep in mind if you do share or show anyone what you've been looking up, if you find some kind of neat response, just remember that, if you ask something just oddball off the wall, it might show in your history. So just a little cautionary item there. So the examples shown here are likely pretty relevant to this group, from generating catchy session titles for conferences or presentations, to organizing ideas into a clean, concise blog format geared to the audience of your choice and in the tone of your choice. Another great time-saving application is to have ChatGPT organize or summarize meeting notes. This one is huge for me. Here's an example of what could have easily taken 2 hours of translating notes and pulling it together to make a proposal presentation. And with ChatGPT's help, took just 15 minutes. Basically, just summarize my notes, paste, and boom, there you go. And then some additional guidance with a prompt to then sort them into current situation and project goals, and then voila. Not only time saved, but very professional deliverable was produced. So AI or GPT is also great for articles and posts, from generating or fortifying topic ideas to polishing up existing copy. On the left there, you can see a quick generated internal communication on our own SharePoint, C5 SharePoint homepage called the Lion's Den. And it's encouraging new employees to make regular visits to our homepage. On the right, which incidentally was one of the first things I read when I came to C5. On the right there is an article that C5 was asked to write for smartcustomerservice.com. The article was written with the help of Jasper and ChatGPT. The article was then posted internally. That's there on our customer portal, which is a Teams integrated SharePoint portal. And we use that for project management and all of our clients and projects. And that includes other artifacts like news articles and training materials. I have a quote up there from one of our clients, basically just saying how they maximized, using their 3-person team, did the work of an 8-person team by leveraging ChatGPT and AI. One pretty cool application is for when you have plenty to say, but you have a character limit. It can be as simple as a gift note for delivery, or like for an online shipment, or for a Twitter post. Another use I would have loved to have when my kids were growing up was for writing to their teachers. It can take precious time and mental bandwidth to respectfully craft a letter, especially when there might be some underlying frustration or emotion. This could also be true for professional correspondence, but possibly. So ChatGPT can take the bullet points and then create a draft in whatever tone you provide. Again, it's highly recommended that, if not imperative, that you review the copy before sending. Now, for the example shown, it's good to also think about the receiver with regard to the length. Because often like less is more, and teachers' time and mental bandwidth is also precious. All of the important points are still included in the far more concise version there on the right, just by telling ChatGPT to make it shorter. The prompt can be that simple and that informal. And because the work-life balance is so important, I'd like to highlight a couple of ways that GPT can make it easier to get personalized assistance with your health and wellness goals. For these prompts, I used Microsoft Bing with the AI enhanced chat functionality. This takes base architecture as used by ChatGPT and then takes it a step further by including current information from the internet. So I myself prefer to use Bing because it has more up-to-date information, which is important for things like newer technology, documentation, things of that nature. And then also because it provides footnotes with the sources that it leveraged to generate the response. So if I want to, kind of see if it came from a reputable source or want to find out more information, I can click on the footnote and it will take me to whatever site it brought that information in from. ChatGPT was originally trained on this type of document, this type of content, policies, and legal matters. So it's very strong in this area. Also, there's well-documented rule-based content for it to pull from in its pre-trained bank. So as with previous examples and a recurring theme, I know I probably sound like a broken record, but this should be used as a starting point and reviewed. For anything under this umbrella in particular, you would want to have HR or legal counsel review and fine tune. So ChatGPT and Bing Chat can be used to assist with generating JavaScript, HTML, PowerFX, and other low-code options. As Copilot is rolled out for Power Apps, you'll be able to conversationally get PowerFX assistance and suggestions, which should be pretty awesome. If you've ever struggled with PowerFX, you will definitely appreciate that. All right, and here's another example of coding support. I don't use this on a regular basis, but when I do, it's super helpful. This example is to turn off the Outlook groups that are automatically created when a new Microsoft team is created. So ChatGPT can provide the script right there needed to turn off the Outlook groups, and you simply can copy the code right from there. That's pretty cool, but like I said, I don't use this all the time. So what if I'm not super sure on how to use PowerShell? On the right side, the prompt is to have GPT list out all of the steps involved to run the script. ChatGPT can also assist you with prompts for the code you would like to write or like it to write. Some examples of prompts are on the left there. And then you can refine it over and over again until it's exactly the way you want it. And then even if you can even have it write user stories for the code that it just created. So pretty neat. All right, Bing and ChatGPT are both AI powered, but they differ in several ways. Bing is primarily a search engine, while ChatGPT is a chatbot. As I mentioned earlier, Bing's AI chatbot has access to the internet and can provide up-to-date information, while ChatGPT relies solely on its training data, which was up until 2021. So Bing has a tendency to have more of those hallucinations I mentioned earlier, more often than ChatGPT. So it's just a newer, a slightly newer concept, and so just use with caution. On the right, it shows an example of the newer Bing image creator, which is powered by DALL-E. If you haven't tried out DALL-E, DALL-E. I highly recommend playing around with that as well. You will have to pay for some credits to be able to play around, but I think it's worth it to see what it will produce. All right, moving on to Dynamics Copilot or Microsoft Copilot. For Dynamics 365, it covers Viva Sales, Marketing, Customer Insights, Business Central, and Customer Service. At least that's everything that was out there as far as the creation of this presentation. It is a moving target, and there's new stuff out there every day. So tried to keep it as current as possible. I'm going to be sharing several video clips over the next several slides to provide additional context and some quick demos to give you a taste of what has been or will be released very soon. Let's see here.
Nine out of 10 workers said that automation and AI-powered tools would help them focus on meaningful work. Introducing Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot. AI-powered assistance to get more done with less effort and take on the tasks that keep you from the work that matters. From summarizing meeting notes, complete with action items and follow-up dates, to helping you get started with emails and content. Whether you're a seller following up with a proposal, a marketer promoting a new product, or a service agent providing world-class customer support, Copilot is there when you need it to suggest responses, documents, and ideas in the moment, and get help just by asking in a conversational way. Copilot features can help write a compelling product description for online stores, or help find the right audience simply by typing who they want to reach. Copilot can even help with your supply chain by predicting risks before they become a problem, and provide clear steps to take action. Copilot is built into Dynamics 365 using artificial intelligence developed responsibly by Microsoft, empowering employees to deliver better customer experiences and drive efficiency across the organization. Dynamics 365 Copilot, the world's first AI copilot in both CRM and ERP.
Here. Yep. All right. Let's see. So Viva Sales Copilot. I have a couple of video clips for this as well that really illustrates Viva Sales. It's more conceptual, so rather than me talk about it, it's likely more helpful for you to get a visual, kind of a quick demo. So, but basically, Viva Sales will help reduce time on clerical tasks, reading and responding to emails, summarizing and creating tasks after meetings. All kinds of good stuff. So we'll take a peek at that now.
Microsoft Viva Sales revolutionizes the seller experience. Kelly is a busy seller who gets help from Copilot in Viva Sales, which is available to Dynamics 365 sales customers and as a standalone offering to connect with Salesforce CRM. Copilot helps her to craft a response. Viva Sales automatically generates a suggested reply enriched with the content from the CRM data. You can see there is a mention of the product, the number of units, and the price point, all seamlessly taken from the opportunity data and combined with the email context. With the content complete, she can simply copy the message to her email, make any minor adjustments to suit her style, and send. Not only is this far more effective than crafting a message from scratch, but Viva Sales can instantly store and update the insight back into CRM. As we take a look at Daisy, she uses the power of AI to help run world-class customer calls and meetings by taking notes so she can focus on the customer in her calls. Sales Conversation Intelligence in Microsoft Teams captures the key meeting highlights, questions asked, and even follow-ups. Now Daisy can take this data and create a simple follow-up summary across to her customer to build trust on next steps. Using Copilot, she no longer has to create her own follow-up based upon the notes. GPT generates a customer-ready meeting summary in a single click. The response embeds CRM data in previous meeting context for review and validation. This is something Daisy will see across all of the Copilot sales experiences. She can also see the linked meeting to confirm she has the correct context. Now our sellers can go do what they do best and close deals faster.
Okay, and here's a demo.
Allie Jameson has returned to the office after attending a conference the prior week. She receives an email from an attendee after the event. She opens Viva Sales to help efficiently work with this email. Viva Sales suggests creating a new contact because Jennifer isn't in their CRM system yet. So Allie does that, noticing that Viva Sales has pre-filled information from Jennifer's signature line. Allie enters any remaining information to complete the record and saves it. While she's here, Allie's also going to add the email to CRM with just a few clicks. She can connect it to Jennifer's company record or to an opportunity. Allie chooses an opportunity. Next, Allie wants to reply to this email. So she's going to hit reply and open Viva Sales again. She could have kept it pinned, but she chose to open it again. And Viva Sales provides a number of ways that Allie can automatically generate a reply. She could simply choose one, and a reply would automatically be generated. But in this case, Allie wants to add some personal information. So she's going to choose to describe the email she wants, and she's just going to type some information in that she wants to appear in the email. Allie provides a quick outline without thinking about the wording too much and without having to consult her calendar. Copilot in Viva Sales generates a response for her automatically. From here, Allie could conversationally request changes to the email, or as she's going to do here, she'll just copy it to the email. And she could make small changes here before clicking the send button. Later that day, Allie receives Jennifer's reply. In Viva Sales, she can scroll down to see a full summary of the email thread so far. She wants to capture that summary to CRM for easy reference. So she clicks the Save Summary button, and she chooses to add it as a note to the opportunity that the email was already regarded to. Next, she wants to go ahead and schedule a follow-up meeting. So she clicks the Outlook feature to reply to an email with a meeting. She chooses the date and time that Jennifer requested and sends the meeting invitation.
Does that voice sound familiar to anyone?
Oh, yeah.
All right, and here's Copilot for Viva Sales in Teams to follow up, pair up with that.
Allie's preparing for a meeting with a prospect. Just prior to the meeting, Allie opens the meeting invitation and clicks Viva Sales. She can immediately see the notes that have been saved to the opportunity. She can also see information about the opportunity that the meeting is connected to, the contact in the meeting, any other opportunities, and the associated account. She can click the contact record, and from there she can immediately see any private notes that only she can see that she's taken, any recent activities, and she can click the Dynamics 365 link to see more comprehensive information about the contact, the opportunity, and the account. She can also choose to edit these records directly within Viva Sales. Allie launches the meeting. Because she scheduled the meeting with a contact that's in CRM, Viva Sales is automatically engaged in the meeting. She turns on recording with transcription at the launch of the call, and she conducts her meeting as she normally would. During the call, Allie can see the transcript as it is being captured. Behind the scenes, Viva Sales is taking notes on the meeting for Allie so she doesn't have to, and she can give Jennifer her full attention. She can also see all the information in CRM using either the Viva Sales or Dynamics 365 button. This includes information about the opportunity, the contact, the ability to read and add notes, and the ability to add or even complete tasks, all during the meeting itself. At the end of the meeting, Allie gets a message from the Viva Sales bot. Here, she can see a recap of the meeting. She can copy and paste it to CRM if desired. She can quickly create follow-up tasks based on suggestions made by the AI. She can see the full transcript of the meeting. She can also see artificial intelligence about the sentiment of the meeting throughout the course of the meeting. On the Mentions tab, she can see brands that are mentioned, keywords, people, and other strategic information that's mentioned. By hovering over an item, she can see where in the conversation it was mentioned and advance to that point in the conversation and view it in the transcript. Allie wants to get help from a coworker following up on this opportunity. In Teams chat, she enters a message, and she selects Viva Sales, looks up the opportunity, and shares it with her colleague. Selected fields are immediately available to her colleague, and if the colleague has a Dynamics license, they can open the full record. Back in Outlook, Allie creates a new email to the prospect. She's going to get help from Viva Sales Copilot. Copilot offers to create an email summarizing a meeting, and Allie can pick from recent meetings. Copilot suggests an email based on the meeting summary, and this can include information from the meeting transcript, from the opportunity, or from other customer records. Allie copies the email into Outlook. From here, she can make edits or just send it as is.
All right, one more on this slide here. Let's see.
Allie's doing some competitive research for Contoso. One of their competitors, Fourth Coffee, has been appearing on more opportunities, and Allie wants to find out any information she can in order to support her sales team in winning more deals. Using SharePoint search, she enters Fourth Coffee. She sees that there's a folder and a file in the competitive Intel SharePoint site that she may want to take a closer look at. But for now, Allie's going to click the Dynamics 365 tab. In this tab, Allie can see everything she would normally see if she did a global search within Dynamics 365. She can see that Fourth Coffee has a regular account record and competitor record, as well as other records for various contacts, activities, and opportunities that Fourth Coffee was attached to as a competitor. Allie also finds a phone call that was completed fairly recently that it looks like Fourth Coffee must have been related to. She clicks a record to open it in Dynamics. She doesn't see any information about Fourth Coffee here, but she does see that this was a transcribed call, and there's a call summary tab. She clicks that to learn more. Next, Allie clicks the Mentions tab to see if the AI recognized the name Fourth Coffee anywhere. Sure enough, she sees that there are 2 mentions of Fourth Coffee in this call. When she hovers over it, these 2 mentions are highlighted in the transcript summary below. She clicks the link and is taken to the first instance of this occurring. And she clicks later in the transcription to see where Fourth Coffee was mentioned again. Allie makes note of this information and continues her search to find more information about Fourth Coffee.
All right. Thank you, Jeff, for that demo. Hope you all enjoyed that. Let's see here. All right, so moving on from sales to Power Platform, something I think we all enjoy. Copilot will impact Power Platform for all of the major components and will be even available for Power Pages to provide some natural language productivity tools and incorporate AI-boosted chatbots. Those chatbots are similar to the Power Virtual Agents, but within Power Pages. So I'll break each of these down. So Copilot for Power Automate features the Describe It to Design It functionality, where you simply tell Power Automate what you want to happen and when, and it will generate a flow suggestion. Format by example is another feature where you can provide it examples of how you want to format a selected item, and then Copilot will suggest an expression that will perform the desired formatting. Coming soon, you'll be able to ask Copilot questions as you work through more complex flows, but this will get you started. It will populate with the connections needed and basically the bones of the flow. And then you can fill in dynamic information and such. I know for me, especially with the more complex flows, that should significantly cut down my Google and Bing searches. I rely on them heavily for Power Automate, and great content by folks in the community. So here's another example of providing a natural language prompt of send me a message to Teams when I receive an email. It's not necessarily the best use case, but it was just fun to play around with the Describe It to Design It feature. So just something that would be easy to test the functionality to get, have it ping Teams and get the notification. So basically, it populated based on my prompt, and then I filled in the details. I wanted it to check the inbox, or only when it came to my inbox. You could pick one that was specifically designed for, with a mail rule. It went to, I want to ping Teams anytime Jeff Abels sends me an email, so I go check it out right away. That might be a better use case. So, and then you just post in the details, the dynamic content from the email that you want to be able to pass through, and it will pop up in the Teams chat, just like a regular chat, but it will be from the Power Automate bot. Pretty neat to play around with, and it's already out there. So Power Apps, the Copilot for Power Apps, you'll be able to sketch out on a piece of paper what you want a screen in your app, in your Canvas app, to look like. So you'll be able to sketch it out, and Copilot will use OCR to pick up what type of components are depicted and translate them into the appropriate controls. For example, the rating, it saw there were 5 stars and it translated that to a rating. Same for labels, text box, and such. So that's pretty neat. You can also use Copilot to describe what you want your app to do, and Copilot will generate the app for you. Very cool, and I'm interested to play around with that. On the right is an example of some of this functionality within the Canvas app, where under the Ideas tab for a gallery control, you can describe how you want your table or gallery to be sorted, filtered, or searched, and then some suggested expressions will be displayed down below. Incidentally, I asked the same question of ChatGPT, and it provided the same expression pasted down there in the black and gray. Just did some minor fact checking there. So moving on, Power BI. Copilot for Power BI allows you to describe the insights that you need or ask a question about your data, and it will analyze and pull the right data into a report for you. So you can also generate and edit DAX calculations. And we'll provide you with a pretty sharp looking report or dashboard based on the inputs you provide, and you can keep refining the options, and it will also offer suggestions. I'm sure there will be a lot more to come. That's most of what's available, at least like I said, at the time of this presentation. So moving on to Power Virtual Agents, the Copilot for PVA is available now in preview, and you can create a chat bot with AI boosted conversations using information from a website of your choosing. I played around with this. I put in C5, asked it some questions, and it was pretty neat that it just knew all the answers. So, and then I tried it with some other websites, like I think actually Microsoft put in a couple of different options, and it was pretty neat the way this chatbot just spoke like it was an expert on all these subjects. A couple of dead ends or hiccups or hallucinations, but for the most part, gave some great information, great answers back. So that was really exciting to see. You can also use PVA's Copilot to create or edit topics using natural language expressions as prompts. So if you ever have created a Power Virtual Agent bot, topics are one thing you generate to be able to drive the conversation. So this is something where you can just use kind of that same describe it to design it technology. Dynamics 365 Marketing Copilot. Some of the features marketing have already turned up in the real-time marketing area. There will be more to come, and it's pretty exciting to see the time-saving features that will be available. For example, you can describe segments and target audiences, and a query is automatically generated. You can also leverage Microsoft Content Library plus your own organizational content. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples and demos for this. Pretty neat stuff. So it's a general overview.
Martina is a marketer at Campari Group, a worldwide leader in the spirits industry. Campari Group is looking to increase awareness of Negroni Week, an event that celebrates one of the world's greatest cocktails and raises money for global charitable causes. She is using Microsoft Dynamics 365 Marketing to send personalized emails to venue owners to get them involved, and she has only 2 days to complete her project. Martina starts by defining the audience for her email. Earlier, she learned from Dynamics 365 Customer Insights that she should tailor her outreach to bar owners in New York City who participated in last year's Negroni Week. At most companies, this means finding that one person that understands data models and queries to create the target segment. With generative AI targeting, Martina can describe who to send it to in her own words. She then creates a new email from a template, and the Copilot in Dynamics 365 Marketing asks her what key points she wants to make. Martina needs inspiration for her email content and sees tips and suggestions are quickly provided to her. She decides she wants the key points to be the purpose of Negroni Week and the impact it has made. She sets the tone to adventurous. Setting the tone allows Campari Group, a global company, to tailor the tone of voice for each brand and region's communication style, saving Martina hours of copywriting. With those few simple steps, Martina receives text ideas that will make her job fast and easy. Let's look at a couple of examples. Over the past 10 months, Dynamics 365 Marketing has been working with hundreds of companies and marketing emails in the public domain to tune the generative AI for marketing scenarios. As a result, Martina feels the ideas are exactly what she's looking for. With a couple of clicks, Martina adds the ideas into her email. She is able to easily make changes to ensure accuracy and add her own personal touches. What used to take hours now takes a couple of minutes. Martina and other marketers like her are able to focus on delivering the most relevant and engaging content faster than ever. She sends her message and completes her project far ahead of her deadline. With Copilot in Dynamics 365 Marketing, Martina now spends less time on copywriting and audience targeting and more time on creative and strategic efforts.
I don't know about you all, but my marketing content that comes to my inbox is never that interesting. So hopefully it's indicative of what's to come.
Ali is creating a new segment in real-time marketing to communicate with contacts who have registered for a year-end gala.
Pardon me, let me give you a preface to this. I just jumped right in. This is an example of Copilot in Dynamics 365 Marketing using Query Assist, where I had said you can describe segments and target audiences and such, and then it will automatically generate. So here we go.
Ali is creating a new segment in real-time marketing to communicate with contacts who have registered for a year-end gala. She's looking to use the Copilot Query Assist tool to help streamline her segment creation. From the real-time marketing area, Ali will go into Segments and click on New Segment. When creating the segment, Ali will enter the name. She will indicate the record type to target, and Ali will also see a Query Assist description box. From here, she can indicate which contacts she would like to target. If she clicks into this box, some common suggestions will appear for selection. Ali can also start typing her own description for this segment. When ready, she will click Create to create her segment. If Query Assist was able to find a condition that matches Ali's description, that result will appear on the right-hand side. Ali can provide a thumbs up or thumbs down feedback to indicate whether this result was useful, and then she can hit Use to add that condition to her segment builder. Now, if there's additional criteria needed for this segment, Ali can continue using the Query Assist tool to describe and search for those conditions. With this additional Query Assist result, Ali can either replace the current condition group, add it to an existing group, or add it as a new group. Ali can continue adding conditions using Query Assist or manually adding attributes to eventually save and mark this segment as ready to use.
All right, that was Emily Boito, one of my C5 colleagues who provided that demo on Query Assist. I have one last clip for you for Copilot content ideas for D365 marketing.
Ali has a real-time marketing segment targeting contacts who have registered for a year-end gala. She wants to send an email to those contacts to keep them engaged and remind them of upcoming deadlines for the event. Allie is looking to use the Copilot Content Ideas feature to help her draft a message to the registered contacts. From the real-time marketing area, Allie has opened her draft email. From the left-hand editor pane, Allie can access the Copilot Content Ideas feature. When she first opens this, there are some sample topics to use to generate text suggestions. Allie is going to enter custom text. Here, she will enter a few key phrases that she hopes to get across in her email. She is also going to indicate the tone of voice to use in the generated content. Allie will click Get Ideas to generate text ideas. Copilot will provide text suggestions based on the phrases provided. Allie can provide a thumbs up or thumbs down rating based on her satisfaction of the text content generated. She can review the text suggestions and select a few that she would like to add to her email. When she's ready, she can click Add to My Draft to add the suggested content block to her message, and she'll have the ability to insert it exactly where she wants. Once the text is added into her email, Allie will have the ability to format the text as needed. She can change the font style, the colors, she can insert additional personalization as needed, and she can ensure that the email is formatted to suit her brand, significantly streamlining the email creation process.
Thanks again to Emily for providing that demo. Continue. All right, so Microsoft 365 Copilot will be coming probably near July 1st, 2023. So more details to come on that for the Microsoft 365 side. As well as Copilot in desktop apps. Some of these may be in preview. We're right on the cusp of things being released on a regular basis into preview, little features or feature sets. Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Outlook will all have features. Reminds me of again, many years ago, using, and also referenced in The Office, Clippy, the little paper clip that helped you draft. I know the use case in The Office was drafting a resume for Daryl, but a variety of different things. So I kind of equate it to that in my mind, that we'll have this basically an assistant to, or Copilot, to be able to go through and generate GPT like presentations or just a document suggestions, all different kind of content suggestions, as well as some analytics. The one for Outlook I think is pretty neat is what did I miss last week? So you come back from vacation, it can give you a summary of some of the high points that you missed. All right, and Teams meetings has some similar where the Copilot will be there with you while you're on a meeting and will give you some sentiment, possibly sentiment generation, really whatever you want to ask should be able to respond. For example, and it uses what's gained during the meeting. So you might be able to say, summarize what I missed in the meeting, if you have to step away and come back, what points have been made so far, or if you're joining a call late. It can even comment on where you could say, where do we disagree on this topic? And it will summarize, what the disagreement points are. You can have it create a table of pros and cons for whatever topic's being discussed. And maybe what else should be considered before making such a decision, and then what decisions were made, kind of in summary. What are suggested next steps, kind of prompting some notes or generating some meeting notes to be able to make sure those action items and next steps are taken care of, or at least carried forward from the meeting. Nothing is missed. Here's another person you can chat with. So this is similar to the Power Automate bot. Copilot bot will be have access to all your information in Microsoft 365. Some example commands or prompts that you can use. Summarize this chat, summarize documents. Because it searches all of Microsoft 365, it will offer suggestions on if you reference a document, it might pull up some recently used documents or any kind of materials and be able to include that in your prompt. So summarize documents about X customer, like an escalation that happened last night, for example. Or what is the next milestone on, and fill in the dynamic content for a particular project. Were there any risks identified? All of those different things, even down to having it help you brainstorm on a variety of different topics. So it's pretty neat to have that type of assistant there. All right, quick note here, the picture there, and I forgot to mention that on the other slides, the other agenda slides. This was also a Midjourney prompt of a realistic photo of a 4-leaf clover sitting on a wooden desktop, even down to the detail of the clover is taking up 40% of the photo space. The picture is well lit and bright. So I wanted to highlight some of the deeper characteristics that you can add, from the background, from size, from all different adjectives, I guess, about the design. You could say about making it a drawing, or in an impressionist style. So digital art, all kinds of cool stuff. So you might be able to tell I had fun playing around with that. All right. So basically next steps for us, you can try out all these cool things that I've been telling you about. For the ChatGPT, you can go to openai.com, and also for DALL-E, you can also access it from within Bing. Bing, when you go to bing.com, there will be a button at the top where you can click chat. I've also found where if you just scroll down, it will scroll down, so it takes you up. It will bring up that chat menu. I believe it does that the first time. I had already used it by the time I noticed that it did that. So if it doesn't do it for you, you might have to click chat the first time. Currently, it used to have you sign up for the original release or the beta, and now it'll let you try out a couple of questions, but then it will say you've reached your limit for today or just in general, and it will ask you to sign in. So it doesn't cost anything, but it wants you to sign in. And there's a variety of different other things, other resources here listed you can test out. Some helpful formulas. We'll be providing the content here so that you'll be able to go and play around with some of this stuff. Also searching the web for some prompts. There's a lot of good blogs out there already of prompts that you can use for ChatGPT, Bing Chat, and such. So here's just some examples if you want some kickoff ideas. And a few tips. So reminder, it's it's an assistant, not a replacement. That's not a reminder. I didn't mention that yet, but that's something that is, I know there's a little bit of nervousness out there in the world that it might replace folks, and I'm not going to dig into that conversation here, but for at the very least for right now, it's an assistant, not a replacement. And also to think of it as a conversation, not a prompt. You start with a prompt, but really the richer you make the conversation, the more you'll get out of it. This is a reminder. Answers are not always correct. So fact check, double check, and review to make sure that it makes sense to you and it's in the tone that you would want to convey. Keep in mind, it can be based on outdated information, especially with tech. Keep in mind of what the source is and when it was trained. The more specific, opinionated, unusual, or recent the topic or code, the more work is left to the human. So essentially, you'll have to do more due diligence. And lastly, and definitely not leastly, provide feedback. On the one demo, it showed the thumbs up, thumbs down. They're look a little different depending on where you see them, but definitely utilize those. A lot of people just kind of skim past it, but use those to be able to provide feedback to Microsoft. They're really listening right now because this is all, we're, like I said, we're on the cusp of all of this coming out. So giving that feedback and even additional comments, if you thumbs down, it will ask for additional comments. So I encourage you to do so. Wanted to share this in playing with Midjourney. Wanted to share my, well, it's the way I perceive generative AI. It can do a lot and can be very powerful, but it requires your input to function and provide, so it can provide useful outputs. So for this, this was Midjourney I used, and the prompt was a person typing on a computer to control a puppet on, control a robot on puppet strings. So that's kind of how I envision it, that we're controlling the AI by using our computer, using our keyboard, and telling it what we need, what we want. And then just little thing here, I would like to point out one pretty common hallucination with AI generated graphics. If you take a look at the hands, you'll see that AI struggles with how many fingers we have and what direction they bend. So if you look a little closer in some of these AI generated photos, I've seen one where somebody had a third arm, just a variety of interesting, cool things that you'll discover. So just some interesting stuff there. And like I said, about thinking about what could possibly go wrong, being mindful of that as you go. Really sorry, skipped ahead. There are definite and real fears surrounding AI. With every innovation, there have been problems. Even the age-old innovation of fire continues to have risks and consequences. Or the automobile, we're still trying to solve all of the problems that that incredible innovation has created. AI can lead to many problems. I only want to talk about the one that scares me and others the most today, losing our humanity. According to a landmark study by Harvard Medical School, they watched a group of about 700 people starting in the 1930s at about the time that they turned 20 years old, and they watched them for 80 years. They found that really what we all know to be true, that good relationships are what creates a happy, healthy life. More recent studies show that the modern age is chipping away at these relationships, and AI has the ability to help us solve this problem or to exacerbate it. Some stats there, or results from that study. It's pretty interesting. I'd like to end on this quote before we open up time for more discussion. Artificial intelligence can superhumanize teams to solve seemingly insurmountable problems. Now, superhumanize doesn't mean it makes people superhumans. It means we can leverage the best of what humans can offer and delegate the rest. I hope this session has given you some insight and inspiration to do that.
That was excellent. Thank you, Jennifer. That's
Thank
awesome.
you, Aiden.
Nice work, Jennifer. That was awesome.
Thank you.
So you said this was one of your first presentations, is that right?
It was. Yes.
I think you did a great job. I will be in North Carolina for Community Summit. Is that the name of it? Okay. Well, I'll be
Yes.
there. I'm looking forward to seeing your session again and meeting you in person.
Thank you very much. I look forward to that, Aiden, and I promise you it will look different because a lot will have happened by October. Really, a lot will happen. You know, you never really know exactly if it will come out as planned, of course, but maybe as soon as July 1st, we'll have a lot of new cool toys to play with, and some of the things that are in preview, and then just building upon that. So it'll be interesting to keep up with and fun to keep playing and building the content for Summit.